All right, with the right race this time, spawning in the bottom left position as our blue Zerg player coming in for MVP, currently 1-1 after taking down Apocalypse. It is Monster. And in the bottom right position as the red Protoss player coming in for Quantic Gaming, it is Hwangsin. All right, guys, so PvZ in Heart of the Storm. Pretty exciting matchup. A lot of things have changed, especially in the later stages of the game. Both of these players, of course, pretty high-level Koreans. Very, very interested to see how exactly this will pan out. Newkirk Precinct, one of the more interesting maps. Hwangsin, interestingly enough, he went for the 9 pylon, but he's gotten it at the top of his ramp, so this could be some sort of a fast wall for a gateway, possibly a gateway expand. A bit interesting that he's not putting on the low ground for a possible Forge expand or Nexus first, but maybe he's got something special cooked up for this map. Actually really interested to see how exactly that plays out. So now Hwangsin's going to be able to get in here and scout with this probe, of course. PvZ in the very beginning stages haven't changed that much in terms of the possible threats of things like, you know, a 10 pool or a 6 pool. And, well, Monster going for a 15 pool. Very, very standard opening. Will likely send a drone down to try to get this hatchery. So Hwangsin preemptively keeping his probe there to block it. And it is going to be a gateway opening from Hwangsin. So on this map, the airspace is pretty short in terms of rush distance, so there's a lot of options for putting on aggression, but now the drone trying to get the hatchery down. Hwangsin dancing the probe, trying to keep him from being able to place that expansion as long as he can. He's actually taking a second gas at home as well, so he's going to let the hatchery go down. It could be part of his plan, though, to let him get that hatchery. Now, the Overlord is headed straight for that ramp, so he will be able to see this setup. The gateway is complete, Cybernetics core starting, and this is going to be one of those old school one base walls, sort of. You kind of get the Zealot, and then you're safe. If Hwangsin chooses to get a Zealot. So he hasn't scouted any crazy aggression. There will be a couple of Zerglings made, just 2 actually, to deal with that probe. But Zealot now coming out, and the Overlord's going to see everything. So Monster knows, okay, well, you're getting the Cybernetics core, you're getting a Zealot, obviously. You can't really make anything else out of here. So next thing he's probably want to check is the gas. And with this double gas, this could be a really fast Stargate play coming out of Hwangsin. This could also be some other kind of trickery, such as a fast Dark Shrine. There's not really too many Robotics Bay builds for this setup, but now Mothership Core coming out very early, and this is also interesting. Typically speaking, this could be for just a really hyper-aggressive opening. So the Mothership Core with the Zealot and the Stalker that are being chrono boosted could actually put on a lot of pressure to this natural expansion. So this could actually be a pretty reasonable amount of aggression coming. It's hard to hold this kind of pressure without roaches. I mean, now they see the gas being taken by Monster. He wants to be able to get up that Zergling speed, wants to get up a little bit more of his defense capabilities. Now, guys, remember, a lot of times you might see a fast third base from a Zerg, but against a gateway opening like this, opening gas is almost mandatory to make sure that you can hold against the kind of pressure that can come. Now, Sentry is coming up, and it looks like Hwangsin will expand behind this pressure, but this really fast Zealot, Stalker, Mothership Core, against a build where if the Zerg player, for example, tried to go for a fast third base blindly, this would kill that completely. But now the Stalker and the Zealot are coming. The Mothership Core is in tow, so we could see a lot of aggression come up here now. The Stalker poking away at the Queens. There are a couple of Zerglings. The 2 Queens should be enough with these handful of Zerglings to hold us off for now. Of course, a Time Warp could do a lot of damage. Now he's poking in. The Queens are stepping forward. This Mothership Core getting a little bit brave with its positioning. Those Queens do have 7 range when it comes to attacking the air, so a couple more Lings do come out. I'm going to poke this away. And at the very least, Hwangsin can kind of force Monster to build Zerglings, and it can kind of slow his economy down because they're not drones, but the expansion for Hwangsin is going to be pretty late comparatively. 24 probes to 36 drones, so he doesn't have the fast double probe production he'd want. And the Zealot and Stalker actually get caught out in the center of the field. The Stalker trying to pick off the weakest of the Zerglings. Decent micro will kill that Zealot. And now the Stalker is going to be chased out, so Hwangsin's going to have to retreat with this. At the same time, there's now a 3rd hatchery coming up for Monster, and Hwangsin will scout this with his Mothership Core. And he's going to get a Stargate, so this is, of course, a very standard follow-up in terms of Protoss versus Zerg. Mostly for getting, like, 3, 4 Phoenix, sometimes 5, to put on some pressure, clean up Overlords that are spotting around the map. And Mothership Core will be forced backwards by this Queen, doing a bit of creep spreading. Take some pot shots at these Zerglings, but kill one of them. So that's kind of the beauty of the Mothership Core. He gets this scouting information. He knows, okay, well, your Zerglings are coming home. I'm not so worried. But now we have the lair starting. The Zergling Speed's about to finish. Roach Warren's about to finish. Monster getting ready to possibly go for a really big 2-base Roach play if he wants to. Switching into Stargate tech, he's going to be very far away from a robotics facility or any Immortals, and no cannon at the ramp as well is going to make getting DPS very difficult. But it doesn't look like Monster wants to do anything like that. He's continuing to produce drones. He might try to saturate this third before he does anything else. And now an Evolution Chamber as well, so we'll have to see where he wants to invest his resources in terms of upgrades. But Forge now started to help finish this ramp off. We have a Phoenix coming out here to poke these Overlords to death. So second Phoenix is coming out. Third Phoenix now being chrono boosted. So he's basically trying to get a bit of map control, a bit of map presence. Warp Gate is done. He's going to want to turn these gateways into Warp Gates, and now taking gas at the natural. And keeping the Mothership Core by the Watchtower. He's denying Monster the ability to actually get vision here, denying Monster the ability to actually see any units that can move across the center. And, well, these Phoenix are also preventing that map vision. And, you know, it's kind of just, you know, the difference between Protoss versus Zerg and Zerg versus Terran. Just that all that air superiority really cutting down the map vision, as we saw Monster crazy map vision against Apocalypse. But Hwangsin denying that pretty damn well. Mothership Core coming in, going to continue to poke away at these Zerglings, and the defenses are going to be more than optimal. It's just about 4 sentries holding the fort, but you know, it wouldn't be a bad idea to get a cannon just for detection, safety purposes. But Hwangsin trying to spend his money as efficiently as he can, but now 7 Hydralisks coming out. We do have that Roach, or I guess Hydralisk as well, attack upgrade coming in. No Roach speed though, pretty interesting. So I'll have to see if he wants to just put on a lot of aggression with this, and I think with the wall set up here, this could do a lot of damage, especially versus this kind of Stargate opener. Now, Robotics Bay is starting. Hwangsin recognizes he needs to get Colossi out to deal with the Hydralisks. Going to use that Graviton lift. He's getting very brave here, just picking up these Hydralisks and killing them off. Really, really nice actual use of these Phoenix to just cut down. The Hydralisks are very, very expensive. Anything that he can kill is actually a huge score. So there's also this Warp Prism being made, so we could see a bit of more drop aggression coming. It's already rallied to about the center of the field. So now the Zerglings are at the center of the tower. This Zergling will poke, sees, okay, there's no cannon, just a couple of sentries. So at most, he'll have to deal with the Photon Overcharge and some sentries. But with the Robotics Bay about to complete, we should see the extended thermal lance as well as the first Colossus, and now that is exactly what Hwangsin's doing. First Colossus range coming in, and oh, these Phoenix actually kind of guarding this this Warp Prism. He wants to get in here, and these Hydralisks are moving out, so this could be a bit of an issue here. The Hydralisk speed upgrade is not done. He will have a hard time retreating to protect against this, and now we have a couple Zealots being warped in by Hwangsin inside of the main base of Monsters. So +1 attack is about to complete on this Forge, the Zergling Scouts, and he's going to try to put on this pressure, but now realizing, oh my goodness, the Hydralisk's caught so far out of position. These Zealots might get the Queen as well. A nice pick up here. And the Phoenix are in here in between. He can pick up some of these drones if he wants to, but just a really good play. These Hydralisks were so far away. Monster wanted to put on the aggression, but in the end, he had to come home and defend. So really, really good timing picked here for Hwangsin, doing a ton of damage, denying so much mining in the main base. And now going to bring in a couple more Zealots in the third. So a good bit of damage done. He's going to bring the Warp Prism and the Phoenix back away. And he's just going to retreat. He's done a lot of damage. This Zealot actually doing a bit of work. The Zerglings are pulled away. He's got 7 kills. He's killed 7 drones so far now this game. Oh, barely grabs an 8th drone kill. So very, very poignant harass from Hwangsin, which, you know, is very, very important that he can do this damage because he's so far away from a third base. He needs to get the Colossi count up. He's actually mixing Void Rays in for additional DPS and just front up power into his army. And, well, he's got the pro position. He looks like he wants to get that third base up, but, you know, he didn't go for the economic opener. He went for the aggressive opener, wasn't able to do too much damage, and even still we have these Phoenix being harassing, picking up these Hydras one by one. Does lose a couple Phoenix. Doesn't want to commit too much here. Keeping them alive they're more of a threat knowing that they're on the field than they are actually killing anything, because he's keeping them honest with them, especially with this Warp Prism. So we could see more aggression from Hwangsin, and this is a great time to be aggressive. He wants to expand, so the last thing he wants to do is provoke any kind of big attack. There are Corruptors on the field now, mixing in Roaches, the army composition of Monster. No Infestation Pit or Hive just yet, but now +2 range attack coming in for the Zerg player. No upgrades for the air But he really just doesn't want to get attacked right now. This Changeling, though, doing a bit of patrolling. He's actually able to spot it if he comes by, but is dead now. And the Phoenix are just looking around for a 4th base, but still only 3 bases for our Zerg player, and it looks like he could be trying to get aggressive now. 6 Overlords are about to finish. He could spend the rest of his resources and max out on Roaches, and that's exactly what he's going to do. 13 coming in now. Hwangsin, his army, much smaller. He has a good number of force fields available, but he doesn't have enough power to actually take out these Corruptors and all the Roaches and Hydralisks at the same time. He's going to need to kind of camp by his Nexus, and he doesn't have. It's not done yet. He can't use Photon Overcharge. It looks like Monster's going to try to engage him here. A couple force fields to block these Hydralisks out, but one of the Colossi immediately killed. He's going to go for a second kill here. Oh, it's 2 Colossi down now for Hwangsin. This 3rd Nexus is in a super crazy amount of danger. Photon Overcharge activated at home, but the Colossi taking so much damage. He does have the range upgrade and the +2 attack very shortly, but the 3rd Nexus will die. And Monster, just this crazy amount of aggression, doing so much. And he's not really in a position to put any kind of counter harass. He can't really afford to at this point. He needs to get this 3rd base up, or he's just going to be forced to go for some lackluster all-in. And this is kind of the things that can happen when you go for the delayed economy openers. So Hwangsin's in a bit of trouble. He's going to hallucinate another Phoenix to go scout. This Warp Prism's keeping him honest, trying to prevent him from coming over here. A couple more Spine Crawlers going to be brought in. It looks like he actually was able to pick off a drone or 2 during that engagement. Not fully saturated on this Geyser, but now a 4th base coming in for Monster. Hwangsin sending out another Phoenix. And here it is, the hallucinated Phoenix. It's going to scat everything that he already knew. It's just Roach Hydralisk with the Corruptors. Nothing fancy at all. And you know, a lot of Zerg players have difficulty dealing with the Protoss Air late game, but at this point, Hwangsin is just never going to get there. He needs to get this 3rd base up. He needs to deal with this army, but here it comes. More force fields being thrown down. There's just so many Corruptors. It's going to be so hard to actually deal with this. We do a bit of observer lag here. Apologize for this. And, okay, so now, does do a nice blink up. We'll be able to pick off another unit or so. But the Colossi are now retreating. He's tucking himself on this Nexus, but he needs to be so careful. The Phoenix coming in. Corruption being used on these Colossi. He's doing so much damage to them. He just doesn't have enough here to really deal with all of this. A great arc from Monster. Hwangsin getting completely surrounded. He's being as cost-effective as he can be, blinking the Stalkers back, but blinking the Stalkers won't save the Colossus. He's going to lose all of them. The Hydras and Roaches barely winning this fight, and now up 100 supply off of this Remax of 17 Hydralisks and 44 Zerglings. Hwangsin's going to lose his 3rd base once again, and it could look like a fast 2-1 now for MVP off the back of 2 wins by Monster. So Hwangsin's in a very bad spot, dropping below 100 supply, doesn't have any Colossi on the field. He's just now getting his 1 Colossi out. He's got +3 attack coming out, but +1 Carapace is now done, and it looks like Monster could try to just end it here. There's no sentries, no force fields. He's pushing into the natural expansion, beginning to take out these units. There is a Void Ray, but what's it going to be able to do to stop all of this coming in, breaking down the wall? All of these Hydralisks opening up the space for the rest of the units to come in, taking out the Forge, the Zealots. Not enough. 1 Colossus is at the Corruptors, though. Will be able to poke it to death, and that possibly poking to death the dreams of Hwangsin taking this map as well, continuing to start support. There's the GG Monster taking game number 3 in this best of 9 series for MVP versus